There's a movie called Eden Lake that I've mentioned a few times on this channel. It is one of the few movies that I can ever say really sincerely ruined my entire day. Like, completely messed me up. I was watching it in the midst of a bunch of other horror movies, because it is a horror movie. It's a different kind of horror movie, though, than a boo, run away from the scary guy kind of movie. And it's so hard to tell you why it was so particularly affecting without just going into a deep dive of it. But in the midst of this marathon of horror movies, I watched Eden Lake, like, right in the middle, and it completely ruined the rest of the marathon for me. I was watching other horror movies. When a character died, I was like, this isn't fun. I don't like this. I hate everything. I'm empty inside. A part of it is that there is a character that is... Well, I mean, it's a horror movie, so there is a character that does some pretty bad things in this movie. Like, really, really horrible, terrible things that you just want to reach into the screen and beat the crap out of this guy for. And a great performance by Jack O'Connell, who's a really great actor that's been in a lot more than you probably realize. But he is just awful in this movie. I mean, he's a great actor. Like, he gives a great performance, but his character is just terrible. And... you just want more than anything to see some really, really bad things happen to him. And I realized recently, and he's not the first character necessarily, but he's just a recent one that's been fresh in my mind, because there's hardly been a day I haven't thought about this movie since I saw it. I realized recently that I have to be able to forgive this fictional character. In the same way that I have to be able to forgive the people in my life that have wronged me, or hurt me, I should say, or the real people in the world that frustrate me. Maybe some of them who have been in some high positions of political power. I have to be able to forgive people. A lot of that by looking at all the circumstances that have built them to being the person that they are. And in Eden Lake, you don't... One thing about it is that it doesn't make the character overly sympathetic. Doesn't make you feel that bad for him, which is why it's easy to hate him. And it doesn't do a deep dive into why he is the way that he is. But you definitely get glimpses of why he is the way that he is. That maybe require a little bit of thinking about it afterward. And when I say I have to forgive everybody, I obviously don't have to. There are no universal laws saying that I have to forgive anyone for anything. It's just that my ability to forgive other people for their wrongdoings directly relates to my ability to forgive myself for my wrongdoings. As soon as I say that somebody is completely unforgivable and is just a demon, it doesn't work anymore in trying to love myself. And that was a hard enough realization for people that are real, It's like, but then it's like, oh, but I can hate a fictional character because he's not real. I can give him all the bad vibes that I want to, because what does that? Well, especially in a movie like this that feels really realistic a lot of the time. There's some stuff that's maybe a little bit far-fetched and kind of has to just do the horror movie thing, but it does feel like this kind of situation could happen in real life, and the slow progression of it is kind of what's most disturbing about it. This character probably exists in some capacity in the real world. He's a very, very angry person who takes out his anger in very, very harmful ways. And guess who has also taken out his anger in harmful ways in the past, and still does sometimes? The person that you're looking at right now. Now, granted, I have never done what this character has done, but, it's the same root. It's the root cause, We're more like villains than we want to admit. The villains that really captivate us are the ones where we can see a person in them. The villains that we hate the most a lot of the times are ones that we see a person in. And I've talked about in a video called The Sad Beneath the Angry. What ultimately lies beneath that anger that causes him to do such destructive things? It's that he's hurt. It's that he's sad. It's that he's mistreated. It's that he has not received enough love. He's a very, very hurt soul that is very, very hard to empathize with. But I guess I'm up for the challenge these days of thinking about all the movies with the most hated villains in them. The ones that I was like so happy when they got it in the end, or so frustrated when they didn't get it as bad as I wanted them to. If I can forgive all of them, you know, I'll be able to forgive anybody for anything, truly. I can't hate even a fictional character. That's annoying. Can I just hate something, darn it?